Hi, this is Myra with Boutique Paint. Today we're going to make some ornaments using the IOD Baubles mold and the Blitz mold. And we're going to use some German glass glitter. Isn't that pretty? And this was just my little test, and it turned out pretty cute. Now, when we're making these, you do lose the detail. So basically what we're going for when we're making the under part is just the shape. This is one that I used DIY's maker's powder, and this is silver lining, and then I did the same stuff, same technique, not same stuff, with the silver lining. And it's very pretty, and you do get to see a little bit more detail with that. So if you want a little bit more detail, then this is a good way to go. You don't get quite as glittery and glitzy of a product. So we're going to start out by using resin, and I'm using Amazing Casting resin, which is a 2-part resin, and I have several videos on our channel, the YouTube channel, on how to use this in different methods. So it's a 50-50 mix. I pour it into a paper cup. I fold a corner of the paper cup, and then you want to start mixing until it's kind of this white milky color. Just make sure it's nice and mixed. And I'm going to do this little guy here. Like I said, you lose some of the details, so go for the shape of what you want. And do this big guy here. On some of these, oops, that's okay if you go over. Don't worry about it. I'll show you what to do with that. On some of these snowflakes, so you kind of have to get the product to move into the corners. So they might need a little bit of help getting in there. So just use a toothpick or a pen, like a T-pen, something like that. Just kind of move it in there. There we go. And I'll show you what you'll do. We'll just leave that guy there so I can show you how to deal with it. Oops, I missed a spot over here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Oh, but we're missing some spots on him. So we'll finish filling him. This one does pretty good. Yeah, that's filling in pretty nicely. Let's see. Let's do this one. For the German glass, because this one doesn't have quite as much of the arms coming out, it's probably not going to translate quite as nicely as like this one or this one. This one should really be nice with the glass, glitter glass. Glass glitter. There we go. How many times does it take before I can get it right? And even if you're not wanting to use the small ones, if you have leftover resin, always pour it into a mold. Even if it's not a Christmas mold or, oh yeah, I'm going to do this one. See if this will work. This one's got such a nice little, I'm not sure it's going to work here, center area. I'm not sure it's going to do it the way I want it to. I'll just go ahead and pour it. But it's got this nice star in the center. And I've already used just that as a something. I don't remember what I used it for. If your molds, if you have these molds, and your molds don't look like this, look all dirty and all funky, then you're not doing it right. You're not using your molds. Obviously you can clean them, but get using them. Get using them. All right, so I'm just going to wipe up that. We will let these set up, and then we will come back and get them ready for the glitter. And then we'll pop these. And then we got this one. Remember I said we're not going to worry about that? So just pop it and then just pull this off. And it is perfect. Let's pull this guy. And we'll move those aside. Now, when I'm doing glitter, I like to have a piece of paper ready, because you want to put the extra glitter that you don't use back in the bottle. So fold it so that you can automatically sprinkle it in there. So what I'm going to do though is I'm not going to glue it up on this page. I will put the glue on, then I will put it on the page, then I will put the glitter over it. The reason being is because I don't want to get, I want to keep from getting as much glue on the paper. So I think I'm going to do this one. No, I'm going to do, definitely doing that one with the German. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so what I'm going to use is DIY's liquid patina. And you could probably use Mod Podge or, you know, anything else along those lines. This is what I have, and this works really well. And then it also works really well for the top coat. You need to put a top coat, otherwise the glitter just wants to keep coming off. So I'm getting in there with the glue, or it's not glue, but the liquid patina. I'm getting the sides because I want the glitter to go in all the nooks and crannies on this little guy. This is still a little bit on the soft side. Hasn't hardened up completely. Just get in there. Use a smaller brush like I'm using. That way you can really get in, work the edges there. And you can see probably that I've got quite a bit of product on there. One more corner. All right. And I am going to just take a paper towel, because I know I got some on the back, and I know I've got it all over my fingers too. So I put it on the piece of paper. I'm just going to scoot these aside, and I'm going to take the glitter, and I'm just going to pour it, just coat it. You can empty the whole bottle if you want to onto this. That's okay, because you really want to get it in there. So you're like, that's too much. No, it's not. It's fine. And then I'm going to grab another popsicle stick that doesn't have glue on it. And I can see it's stuck to the paper. But I'm going to just pick that up and kind of get a look at it and see if I'm missing any. See right there, there's a corner. So I'm going to kind of dip it in there. Maybe I didn't get glue there. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more glue in there. There we go. Everything else looks good. Okay, so then I'm just going to kind of shake it off, and that looks pretty phenomenal, doesn't it? Isn't that pretty? So we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the back side so that if it spins, You're not just looking at an ugly white backside. So that's the other thing, is if you got a little few spots that maybe missed, you can wait. Oh, see, that doesn't have it. Thought it did. Okay, so we're going to set this aside, let it dry. Stop messing with it. And for right now, I'm just going to set this aside. A lot of times they'll say, go ahead and pour it back in the jar, because if you bump it, then you got glitter everywhere. And as one of my nieces says, glitter is the herpes of the craft world. Sorry if I offended anybody, but it's her quote, not mine. I just thought it was pretty funny. So I'm just going to set this over here out of the way. I'm going to get another piece of paper, because I think I'm going to do this one gold. I'm going to do that one gold. I don't know. It's so hard because the silver is so pretty, but I do want to try the gold just to see. Let's do this one gold. Oop. There's a little bit of silver in that, and now I'm getting it into my, always pour this into whatever product you're using. Always pour it into a little dish. Don't do what I'm doing, because you can contaminate it, and then you're going to go use it for another project, and maybe you don't want glitter on the next project, and yet you got glitter. So like this. But it's too late, and I also realized I didn't really have that mixed up very good, and I'm doing what I said I shouldn't do. That looks like I'm pretty good. And like I said, you can always get the edges again when you go to do the back. Now you can always color these, you know, with some pigments, so that it would be, when it flipped around, it would be gold or silver or whatnot. I just think it would look prettier with the glitter on it. Oh, that's got a little weird nozzle on there. Now this is a really fine glitter, and that's, I mean, I've got this, which is, looks a little chunkier. It would probably work just fine. I just think that to get a little bit of definition, if you use the smaller, finer glitter, it probably will work better. Like I said, just make sure it is covered. Any little toes sticking out, get them covered. Okay, now I need another stick. I keep goobering them. Yeah, see, you can see a little bit. I probably just missed getting. And you could take your stick and just kind of, you know, push it in there too. And you will have glitter everywhere. It's just kind of the nature, see, the nature of the beast. But see, you can see I missed the edges, and that's okay. I'll get them. Oh, but that's, look at that. That's actually very pretty. It's turning out nice. I am going to go ahead and contaminate my brush and dip it in here so I get these. I'm going to have to go in there and get those glitter pieces out. I'm not as worried about the edges. I did want to get the front of it before I flip it over and do the back. And then the back, I'll get the outside edges. I'm just going to give that a minute to sit there. I was hoping maybe just kind of tapping it lightly, it would help. So I'm outside and I've already sprayed the pieces once, and now I'm going to spray them again. I'm just using a clear coat of spray, just kind of hitting it lightly, letting it dry, and then I'll probably do, I'll see how this works. If the second coat is enough, I may do a third coat. So my pieces are sprayed and dried. And I used a gloss top coat because that's what I had. I think anything but matte would work. Matte's going to flatten, you know, the look of the glitter. On my small one, my little small sample piece, I had used the liquid patina for my top coat, and it worked fine with that. But I found when I went to do the bigger pieces, it was lifting the glitter off. And I think one had to do with the type of brush I was using. I used a flat brush like this instead of the pointier brush, and I think the pointier brush works better. But the spraying, the top coat works the best. So I'm going to now put a hole in this. I'm just going to kind of eyeball, and I have a little tiny drill bit in this. You got, I'm going to the side a little bit. You got to be careful of that. There we go. Let's see how. Didn't take too much glitter off, which is what I was a little worried about. Cleaned it up a little bit. I'm gonna tuck just a silver string through it. And this one I just glued to the back. I knotted it and then glued it to the back. I used some E6000. And if you choose to use a hot glue, with Christmas ornaments, always do a high temperature hot glue. The reason why is most people store their ornaments in an attic, and it gets warm up there. And if you've ever had candles up in your attic, your holiday candles, and you pull them down, yeah, they're not the same shape as when you put them up there. So yeah, use a higher heat glue stick. So then I'm thinking maybe I need a little bow, and so I've got a little assortment here of bows I did, and I think the cream is certainly cute. It gives it kind of that old-fashioned look. I got gray. I did a dual gray, 2 ribbons. This is the same ribbon. One is just off the spool, and this is old-fashioned seam binding, and then this is where you take some of the seam binding and you get it wet and you scrunch it up and you let it dry, and it dries all wrinkly, and it gives it kind of a cool effect. So then I got this green one. I really like the green, but I really like the cream one too. Decisions. I think I might do the green one on that and the cream one there. Oops. And then it stuck to me. So I'm going to get out a little of my E6000. And just put a little bit on the back. And I'm going to kind of glue it up towards the top of where the string is. The only bad part about using this kind of glue instead of hot glue is, you know, you have to wait for it to dry. That's the only real disadvantage. And hot glue doesn't stink. This stuff, I have to say, it's definitely got an odor to it. And there we go. Oops. Like I said, the bad part is it doesn't stick immediately. If you have any questions about any of the products I used in this video, you can go to our website at www.boutiquepaint.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.